Many people did not understand that he really couldn't walk. He had developed this way to kind of throw his body with these braces locked into place, but he always had to have someone on either side of him. Could he have kept that from the public today, Doris? Obviously not.
Probably not, and hopefully the public today would be much more understanding and glad to have somebody who would overcome this kind of problem and become so strong. But he made the decision at that time that the country probably wouldn't feel comfortable with a man who couldn't walk. But, you know, you're right to say that he dreamed about it all the time. He had this way of going to sleep at night where he would imagine himself a young boy once more on the hills at Hyde Park, taking his sled down the hill. And then when he got to the bottom of the hill, bringing it up again like somebody counts sheep. But obviously in that dream, he's running, he's walking, he's sliding, and then he can finally go to sleep because he dreams it. But I think once you decide that you're going to use your talents in a different way, then he became the most active wheelchair man you could possibly imagine. Every other part of his body is so vitally alive.
Well, here, we have one little clip here that is just what we're talking about here. Let's take a look at this.
Warm Springs, he labored at mastering what his physiotherapists called a two-point walk, the slow, rocking gait he would employ in public for the rest of his life.
So he really wasn't walking, Jeff. He was just kind of throwing his body again, back and forth.
That's right. And I guess I differ with Doris a little. I think if he were running now, sadly, I think TV crews would compete with each other to see who could get the footage that showed him at his most helpless. He had to be carried in and out of buildings. He had to be helped to move his braces and so on. And I think Fox News would have loved that.
Well, and you know, to illustrate your point, sadly, in 1936, when he was coming down the aisle to give the acceptance speech, he went over to shake somebody's hand, and he did fall, and his braces unlocked, and his speech sprawled all around him. But there was an honor code upon the press at that time not to show him that way. So he goes up, gives the speech, and that's all you hear. Today, you're probably right. Yay, look at what we're seeing.
And we think that because we know more, we know more. We actually know more, but we know less. This is a man who had 998 press conferences. Those reporters and the people around him saw all this stuff, saw the huge effort, but also had a kind of intimate access to him as the chief executive. And so I think, you know, we sort of think that it's really good that we know everything. It may not be really good that we know everything, and because we know everything, there's now a moat around the presidency and our great leaders that then removes us from the possibility of truly knowing them. But he had access. He fancied himself a newspaper man and knew them by name, and I think they not only saw the arduousness and the sacrifice and didn't write about it, but they had a much clearer idea of all the other things that were going on at the time in a way that we don't now. We're still talking about the bubble and how much the person gets isolated in the bubble, and that we are unaware of what's really going on inside these complicated interiors that we call our leaders.